Hey Govanen, and welcome to Lotro. And what we're doing here is we've just come out of the Goblin Cave. In fact, there's no way through from the other side, so I had to run all the way around and get to where it is. I've just had to kill a few goblins there. These goblins, unfortunately, in this area are high enough level to hit us, so I've got stealth on. With any luck, we'll get through here. But anyway, this is the dwarves and Gandalf and Bilbo escaping down the mountain, and they're getting away from Goblin Town, and they'll eventually run down here and get to the place where we saw all the action. Now, if you haven't watched these videos before, you haven't watched any, there should be a thing up at the top right here to take you back to the start of these videos if you want to go to the first episode. This is our fourth episode, I think, and we are just running down the hill here with Bilbo and the dwarves, and we're going to get to a point where we get the fight with the wolves, and it's going to be around here somewhere, I believe. It's actually down there a bit, is it? Yeah, there's the campsite, so we'll just run down here. Here's Bilbo sneaking up on the dwarves, and they get very surprised by him. And here's the campsite, and looking pretty good after 50 years, isn't it? And then running down here, and we have a scrap with the wolves. And then the eagles come and rescue them. Now, this video is going to contain spoilers if you haven't read The Hobbit. But if you have read The Hobbit, this is where, in the game world, we have the fight with the wargs and Gandalf. There's the trees that they burn down or cut down. There's some wargs, and they can smell us too, actually, so we're going to watch out. And then, just down here, trying to avoid getting eaten, really. What's that there? A corpse. Just down here, the dwarves and Bilbo and Gandalf are rescued by the eagles. And I'm going to have to break with tradition on these videos and do some editing, which is kind of annoying, but there you go. So we'll just come out of stealth, I think. Can we do that? I can't remember what my key is for stealth. So here we are. We're trying to get over there. The Lonely Mountains over there somewhere. That's Lorien. Mirkwood. Mixing myself up with the other book. Mirkwood over there. We're going to be rescued by the eagles, and I'm going to have to run round to the Eagle's Eyrie, which is where we go next after we get rescued. So yes, breaking with the habit of a lifetime in these videos, and I'm actually going to have to do some editing. So I'll see you in the next bit. By the way, I found another image of the fight of the wizards and all that kind of stuff in Goblin Town, so I'm going to pop that in as a little card to do the transition with. So see you in the next video. See you in the next bit. See you in the next bit. See you in the next... Let's continue this in a second. I don't know what to do. So here we are. We're in the Eagle's Eyrie, where we've just been rescued from the big battle with the... Oh, something weird happened there. So let's see if we can see what's going on here. Here's our eagle. Now, you can travel by eagle in this game, but unfortunately you don't actually get the flying bit. But we do get a good view from up here. Look, here's the view of the whole place. There's Beorn's house down there. We're going to head for that. I think that's Beorn's house. And over there's Mirkwood, and beyond, way over there, is that the Lonely Mountain? Way over in the distance there? It could be. Is that, or is that just a cloud? Maybe that. Don't know. What do you reckon? Could be. Or it could be just a cloud. Who knows? Draw distance. You see trees appear in the distance. But anyway, we're in the Eagle's Eyrie, where we've been rescued. And everybody gets themselves untied, and everybody shakes themselves off, and the eagles confer with Gandalf, and he says, right, why don't you take us somewhere else? And they say, we'll drop you off on the Carrack, and then you can make your own way from there, because they don't like going down to the ground, and the Carrack is that big rock down there, which is where we're going to go to next. So there's an eagle transport from here down to there, and then we're going to climb down there, and we're going to head in towards Beorn's house, and maybe that's as far as we're going to get in the video tonight. We'll see how we go. So hi is everyone. Let's see if we can just do this. Oh, I have to actually choose a destination. Hang on. The Carrack, there we go. Travel for that. Here we go, and we're there. Woohoo! And the eagle parks himself there so we can get back again. So we're on the Carrack, and this is, we get a slightly better view of the action from here. We're going to head out that way. There's Mirkwood, and that might be our next adventure, but I think this is just a little short video. This is the Vales of Anduin, the Anduin River, the great river flowing past here. All heading down there. What we have to do is get down off this hill, which isn't too hard. Though we've lost our pony, so we have to go by foot now, right? So, and also, this area is too high a level. Well, it's not too high a level for this character, but the monsters in this level are high enough level to attack this character, which means that we may have to stealth to get to Beorn's house, and stealth to get to Mirkwood. But we can run down here. There's no enemies in this hill, so yes. I've been off work for a couple of days because I've had tonsillitis, and it's not a very pleasant thing. Actually, right now it's the evening, so I don't feel too bad, but it's hellish in the morning. It just seems to flare up overnight, and I went to the doctor Friday, got some antibiotics, and hopefully that's going to clear it up in a couple of days, but it's still hideously painful overnight, and I don't get a lot of sleep. But anyway, enough about my worries, but that's if I'm sounding a bit hoarse, that's why. The throat is quite tender at the moment, and my speaking. I woke up on Wednesday, couldn't speak. I was in horrendous throat pain, back in my throat, and couldn't speak. So I think we're gonna go down this way. We'll see if we can find. Oh, hang on a second. What's this? Farming stuff going on here. Yeah. You see, these things are reacting to me because I'm not too high a level for them. Though most of the stuff down here doesn't attack you on sight. So there's various different aggro levels in this game. Monsters will react to you but won't attack you if you leave them alone. So that's kind of low aggro, if you like. And then there's high aggro, which is where monsters just attack you on sight. So if you come across a goblin or something like that, it just attacks you on sight. Here's the road running through to Beorn's place, and if we're lucky we'll see some big bees. Don't see any yet. And in the story, of course, Beorn doesn't like visitors, so Gandalf has to introduce the whole party of dwarves one by one, and Gandalf spins a yarn. As I say, it's a children's book, although somebody mentioned in the comments that though it's a children's book, it's really a very kind of sophisticated children's book. And I think that's true. I think I quoted somebody from Friendface or whatever that site is called, saying that you should only read The Hobbit if you're 9, but the commenter, sorry I can't remember your name, definitely makes a good point in that It's a very sophisticated children's book. There's a lot in here of Tolkien's lore that he just throws in. Presumably because he'd already made it up. And here's Beorn. We'll go into Beorn's house and we'll have a look inside. There's Beorn there. Look, there he is. Look. Yes. And here's his house. We'll go in and see where they sheltered from the goblins. And Beorn goes out, and there's Gandalf. Hey, Gandalf. How's it going? Megavanan. Megavanan, by the way, is... I thought I'd better introduce everyone in good Tolkien language. Megavanan is the greeting of elves. Welcome. Melon is the friend, if you remember from the old... so, Megavanan melons, my friends. Let's go and see if I can find some bees. We'll have a look around Beorn's place. And there are a few... See, there's all his beehives here. So honey and stuff is what Beorn eats mainly, because he's kind of a bear type dude. Turns into a bear, doesn't he? And chases off the goblins. So, yes. There's a pile of elves kicking around too. Look, there's a big bee. Look, here we go. You see him? Up there? Excellent. Right, there's a few bees hanging around. There's a little mission you can do with bees. And this is actually a point in the game where my character is at the level, so can do a bunch of the... Another bee, look. Can do a bunch of the quests around here. These quests are all on level. There's a donkey. So, Beorn's got lots of pets and animals and things and doesn't eat meat, and we've got a task thing here, and yes. So there you go. So I think what we'll do... How are we doing for time? 7 minutes plus a few minutes from the previous bit that we had to teleport out of. We'll try and get to the forest gate, I think. And so, anyway, they get the shelter, and then Beorn lends them some ponies, but they have to send them back. So, will we ride? I can't really stealth if I ride, and there's enemies up here, so maybe we'll just run up here. It's not going to take very long. It's not far to the forest gate. And we'll run up, and we'll send the ponies back, even though we're not riding them. I might have to stealth, though, in a minute. Just why I'm not going to get in a pony, because we'll just get attacked if we run the wrong way. So these are the meadows where Beorn's bees collect their pollen to make their honey. And Gandalf and the dwarves and Bilbo ride along towards the forest gate. You see some trees of Mirkwood in the distance. So the eaves of the forest, the Eaves of Mirkwood, is where we're heading for. Bit of a road here. Sometimes, generally in this game, if you're on a road, you don't get attacked. You're relatively safe, which is handy for getting from A to B. But this road's a bit indistinct, so I'm not sure it's going to be all that safe. Just have to keep our eye open for enemies and make sure we don't crash into any. Yes. So, trying to find the right way. I think it's down here. Here it is. And I think that'll do us for the video tonight. It's not a very long video, but it's a little short journey. And in our next video, we're going to go into Mirkwood. In fact, this journey isn't anywhere near as long as the Lord of the Rings journey. And it's not going to take us anywhere near as many videos to accomplish the whole journey. Here we are. This is the entrance to the forest. Legolas greets us as we arrive at the forest gate. That didn't happen in the Hobbit. Legolas wasn't in the Hobbit. So, anyway, he's there to say hello. We're about to head into Mirkwood. And of course, these elves weren't here when Bilbo and the dwarves arrived. And it all looked very spooky and dangerous. But now, the Sauron's been defeated in the game here, so it's all sweetness and light. Which is kind of annoying, really, because we want to get the atmosphere of the Hobbit, but it's not going to happen. But we will. We can follow the path. We can see. It's a bit like one of those tour guide things, you know, go around medieval London and stuff and see where Charles Dickens walked and stuff. This place is completely different. But you can go to all the places he went and that kind of stuff. So, and the whole business of Stations of the Cross and things in Jerusalem. All that. It's all changed, but we can still do the trip. And we're going to do that. And we're going to follow Bilbo into Mirkwood in our next video. Thanks for watching. Catch up with you soon.